Yep.
Welcome back to AgriTalk Online, broadcasting here at the National Farm Machinery Show in Louisville, Kentucky at the Gleaner Combine display. Talking again with Kevin Bean, Brand Marketing Manager for Gleaner Combines. Kevin, before we kind of run through some of the features, especially the new things on the Gleaner Combines, you and I were talking about really the closer on a combine is going to be how it performs in the field, and you've been out there with a lot of demonstrations and farmers walking behind a combine, seeing what's coming out that back end, seeing how that machine is handling. That really is the story there, isn't it?
It really is, Mike. And this last year, this would be we're going on our third year. We had 8 demonstrator combines out running, and we challenged customers to get out behind these machines. We did loss checks. We did a lot of comparisons with competitive machines, which we wanted to do with the John Deeres and the Cases, and our whole premise on the demonstrations is you got to feel comfortable with what we can do and see the difference. There's a huge difference, but the big thing I think we heard over and over is low loss levels, incredibly low loss levels. We were out in soybeans, and if we couldn't be down below 1%, we weren't happy. So we were running typically 7-8% incredible. But the grain quality in soybeans and in corn is phenomenal. I mean, you're not seeing the splits and the cracks. You're not seeing bits of cob in the bin. This new processor, it's a winner.
And I guess the other thing for a combine is how well it performs in maybe the worst of conditions, the most challenging conditions. That really separates your machine from somebody else.
It really does, Mike. We had a lot of customers as they walk around, and when you look at some of the other axial combines that we have here, and we obviously produce axial combines, what you really notice is that with an axial combine, you've got wires, you got large wires, and you got small wires that you got to take out or add, and you've got round bar concaves, and so you take all those out in your pickup truck, and you go out there, and when you're changing from crop to crop, you're going to be out there doing that. Well, it's amazing with a Gleaner combine. We don't understand that because we have a processor here that can go from corn to soybeans to barley to wheat. And this machine is a matter of doing just a couple things. From inside the cab, changing your concave clearance, your cylinder speed, and your air. Hooking up your appropriate head, and let's go to the field. So what is amazing about it is our ability with this combine to react to the different conditions. We don't know if we're going to have a year like 2009. Remember how wet it was and how difficult it was to get the crop out of the field. But if we do have, I'll take the Gleaner combine any day of the week over any competitive combine that's going to weigh 6 tons heavier in some cases with some of the machines out there that are going to have a problem getting through the field in those wet conditions. But the other important thing is they're going to have a problem with the amount of shoe load they're going to have to deal with. With our combine, with our accelerator rolls, 2/3 of our cleaning is done before it ever hits the shoe. So we're only doing 1/3 of the cleaning, and we're always delivering the crop in the same location each and every time on the front end of that shoe, regardless of whether we're on a 12 or 15% slope or we're on level land. And it's always going to be performing with putting the cleanest grain sample in the bin. That's what customers want. I mean, I think what we got to get customers to realize, there's a big difference between a Gleaner and everybody else. They need to come out and see it.
All right, take us to the list of new features that you have on the Gleaner Combine this year.
Mike, I don't know if we have enough time, so what I'll do is I'll just highlight a few, if I may. One of the areas is right up front. One of the things on the front of the feeder house right now, they're going to notice a big difference. We have a new high torque variable speed header drive that gives us a capability right now to take as much as 140 horsepower continuous through that drive system, or about 190 horsepower peak. Now, what does that do for us? It allows us to put the largest chopping corn head out there on this variable speed header drive, and it's going to take all the punishment you can put through it and all the power you can take through it. This is a 55% increase over what we had before. With that, we had to actually increase the weldment, on the feeder house, and we had to reposition things like the jack shaft. But in the end of the day, there is a big difference in the larger diameter pulleys. When they walk up, they're going to say, oh my God, what an incredible difference in this new high torque variable speed header drive. So that's a big one. We've also done a lot of work on the separator drive. We've increased the diameter of the pulleys on the separator drive as much as 22% on 2 of the drives, 27% on the other. Reason for doing that is to get the wrap on the belt, more wrap on the belt. And we're also getting prepared for something maybe in the future they can find out from Gleaner. Stay tuned here in the next 15 months or 18 months. The important thing is we start touching these areas, we're getting ready for higher capacity, more productivity, but they're getting it today. They're getting it today with these new drives and just a lot of other changes on the machine. As I said, the 390 bushel grain bin this year, standard equipment now. They don't have to order as an option, so they're getting the largest grain bin capacity in the world, standard. Fastest unloading rate, standard. And again, a lot of other things on here. We've had customers out there that who have been telling us the straw sample coming out of this combine now because of its new processor. If some of these areas, they get up in Ohio, for example, and Indiana and Pennsylvania or Ontario, where they're wanting the straw to bale behind, and it's a cash flow crop in the late summer. They want to collect all that. There's not a grain or a straw sample that'll come out of a combine that's better than this.
Obviously, some farmers, color is important to them, and they're going to stay loyal to that color. Are you finding that farmers are more willing to at least listen and look at another color and see what you have and be open to the possibilities of making a change?
Right now, this past year, Mike, we have taken more competitive trades in on gleaners than ever before on the new S Series. One of the things that has come out, and I think we're hearing a lot, these combines are getting so heavy, high center of gravity. They're getting almost impossible to transport. There's one combine manufacturer, and even in order to ship it, you have to take the final drives off and the tires and wheel equipment. These are getting to the point right now where if you're a contractor or a custom harvester, you can't even haul them down the road without changing your trailers out because they're getting so heavy. The Gleaner, on the other hand, we had one customer that traded off 4 John Deeres for 4 Gleaners. And his whole comment was the reason he did is he can load them on his trailers in half the time. The fuel consumption numbers were 30% lower. It's the fact that they can get to the field quicker, they can get more done, and it's this issue of compaction. I mean, these are all important things. We're a solution out here that really in reality has taken combine design to a total different direction. Gleaner is the only one, and it's not a we too, me too. So our green owners and red owners are coming up and saying, I know you do put the best grain sample in the bin. There's no question about it in the low loss level. I see what you've done on capacity, but the weight of the combine is a concern to me. And Gleaner is the only one that's going the opposite direction and maintaining a very light, nimble platform to get in the field when things are tough.
These are good times for the equipment business. A lot of new equipment moving, but there's quite a market for used equipment too. How do the Gleaner combines hold their value?
Mike, thank you for asking that question, because one of the things that I had here at the last 2 days of the show is dealers coming up and saying they can't keep an older transverse Gleaner on the lot. What's happened is what they've seen us deliver here with the new S Series has dramatically impacted the resale value and their ability to sell them, because there's customers out there that say, I maybe can't afford an S Series, but I might want to trade my competitive combine off for a Gleaner R Series, because I can pick up a lot of the great benefits that have always been a part of what the Gleaner combine is all about. So what's happened right now is the energy and what's happened on the new side has had a great, very positive impact. And that should make farmers feel pretty comfortable, because if they're a rollover customer, they know one thing: they're going to get the highest trade-in value for their Gleaner. It is what it is.
So a lot more demonstrations coming this year?
Lots more. In fact, we're going to start, we're going to go out on our website, www.gleanercombines.com, and we're going to be putting out here in a week a couple exciting things that we want to let people know about. One of those is our field days. We're going to end up putting all the different field days, and we have a personal invite. They can actually go online and sign up for the demo. They can sign up here at the show, and we'll get their name and make sure we give them a personal invite to the nearest demonstration. But there's another exciting thing I want them to be aware of, and that is that we're going to have clinics, a special clinic for every 2012 Gleaner owner, and we're going to invite the 2011 owners to these clinics where they can come in and spend a day with us. We'll feed them a nice lunch, and they can spend a day learning about how to get the most out of their new S Series combine. And this is something I don't believe, our dealers are doing it, but I don't know of any manufacturer that's doing this, where they're personally inviting their customer in to spend a day with them and learn about that new combine. So it'll be the Gleaner Combine Clinics. They'll see that also out online. So we invite them personally to come, and their dealer come to these clinics and learn more about their new S Series.
Watch for them. All right, Kevin, we'll see you somewhere along the line. Thank you.
We look forward to it, Mike.
Kevin Bean, Brand Marketing Manager, Mr. Gleaner Combines himself, joining us here at the National Farm Machinery Show in Louisville, Kentucky. That wraps up our coverage for this year. Thank you for joining us here on AgriTalk Online.